It's freezing, it's raining, but we got Audi paddock, so it really doesn't get better than this. So we got what is a 427 kit car Cobra. Not really sure when or what, like when this was painted, when it was built. We're not 100% sure. But this car is going to be auctioned off for the benefit of the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. And so I'm in partnership with GTECHNIQ here. Jim is joining us to get the car looking good. This is, I think, all fiberglass, right? I mean, it feels like the whole thing's fiberglass. So we've got a bunch of unique things here that I've never really dealt with. Pretty much all fiberglass body, older paint, really jacked up paint. We're going to show you what it looks like here in a minute. We think it's clear, right? It's clear coat.
It's base coat, clear coat.
I thought it was a single stage. That's what we were told, but it's not pulling.
Which works out for our benefit.
Yeah, not pulling any color. So hopefully there's lots of paint on it. We really are going to work on correcting it out as much as possible. So what do you think the plan is here? We're going to test spot it, right? We're obviously going to have to microfiber and
probably microfiber cutting step. Then we'll chase the haze bag with another step, which will be a more coarse like foam pad, and then we'll go to the polishing refining stage. So probably 3 steps.
We may need to sand a little bit here and there, some spots. Yeah. In combination of this, Jim is going to kind of train me on advanced certification and critique me a bit, and I'm happy to be told I'm doing it all wrong. So we're going to critique a bit and then learn how to apply Ultra, show people what that looks like. Now you'd have to be a pro to be able to, you'd have to go to a pro to get that installed, but that process is similar to a traditional coating, right?
Yes.
Even a consumer
just
grade
a little bit different of an application process, and it is an accredited detailer only product.
So we'll be showing what that looks like. So I guess we're going to get started. Let's get our polishers out. Let's get moving on this sucker. This is going to take a while. We're going to be grinding away on this thing.
Yes, sir.
All right, so here's what we're dealing with. Normal washing, right?
Yep, improper wash methods, the swirling.
Yep, but then we have some deeper gouges and...
Got some paint chips.
Yeah, some 20 years worth of love marks, some heavier scratches. I mean, that generally doesn't come from washing. That comes from wiping down a lot of times, probably on a dry car. We've already done it. We cheated a little bit, done a little bit of testing here with a compounded microfiber. But we've got, this is the worst paint I've probably ever worked on. Combined with dealing with fiberglass and how that reacts. What's your experience with fiberglass? I guess it would heat up a little less, right? Yes,
it's going to take a little bit more to get this to start cutting. So we'll do our test spot first, and we'll kind of dial it in, and then we'll go from there.
So here's what we're looking at. You guys are going to be excited to see this. Look at that. Yikes. Yikes. All right. We're fortunate in that, one, GTECHNIQ has sponsored the car, as well as Oberk. Do you guys have a polish line?
GTECHNIQ has P1, but we primarily use it on gel coat.
Okay, so we need some more aggressive stuff, some more sophisticated stuff in order to throw at this thing, in order to get it to polish out and then finish. And so we have Oberk, the two different versions here. So we have the cut, which they call step 1, and then polish, which would be a finishing polish. But we also have Oberk microfiber cutting pads, and we'll be looking and testing some of the foam pads as well. We have some finishing pads and some slightly stiffer medium polishing pads, which we may need to use on this black paint. But we'll be using LHR 15 Mark II, the LHR 12E, LHR 75E, the 3-inch electric, and then various scan grip lights. But Oberk also has some pretty nifty little dispensing bottles. So Jim's taking it out of the big bottles and put it in some smaller stuff. So we'll obviously be starting with the heavier compound, the cutting stuff. Cuts pretty aggressively and then finishes down nicely. Kind of like the Jetscar stuff that you guys see me using all the time. Very similar type of aggression from this, but finishes down much nicer than 105 or 100 or some of the McGuire stuff. So that's what we're going to be working with here to start.
I put the 4 dots on.
Okay. Prime on the fly.
I'll prime it on the panel, and I'll take it off, put 2 more dots on, and then work it in.
Okay. I'm always interested in other people's processes. So feel free to tell me, are you a primer like on 2 or slow speed down? And
Yep. There you go. So now I would take it off and either put 2 dots on it or just do 4 dots again. It doesn't really matter.
Okay. I'll do 2. Yeah.
And then you want to do your
2 by 2.
Yep. 2 by, well, we're going to do a foot here.
So we're going to, is there a transition here? Or, I mean, how would you treat that? We're going to treat that separately, you think?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to treat it as a separate section, but this is definitely clear coated too, so.
Are you a cross-hatcher or a back and forth?
So the way I like to do things is I cut to the left. My first sections, I cut very slow and low to the left. Then I drop it down, pull the material back, and then start again and go real slow. I always cut against the machine.
Start here, come up.
And then you're going to drop down where you would overlap and just bring it back down and then go back slow again to the left.
That's darn fender.
So what you're doing is you're going against the rotation of the machine, so you're getting more cut.
Got it. Never thought about it.
So drop down, just slide all the way down. Bring it back slow. Drop down. There you go.
Then what?
Then I would do my crosshatch.
Okay.
So you're gonna work it into like a haze, and then you're gonna blow that off, add 2 more dots, and then work it out till it's almost clear.
Okay, now what?
Yeah, so now take it off.
Okay.
So now you have like your opaque kind of look.
Yep. And
So now you're gonna let it cool, you're gonna blow this off.
okay. All right, we're gonna go grab the air here in a minute. So just clean up the pad. So now I'm gonna add a couple more dots of product. So
Yep, so I would do 2 dots, very small, you don't have to do them real big. And now I would work that in again.
same
process, well this time you
passes.
could just do crosshatch.
Okay.
And then work it into opaque again, then we would blow it off, not add product, and finish it out to an almost clear look.
Shoot. All right, so we did a first slow cutting, left to right, do our cross hatches to make sure we didn't miss any spots, basically. And then we're cutting against the machine, against the rotation of the machine, so from right to left.
Right, you're
Right,
going,
so
you're working to the
right,
left, dropping it down, and then coming to the left again.
Okay, and then the concept here, so this is diminishing polish, right?
Yes.
So we just broke it down by making that with multiple passes. We're adding some more so we get our cut back,
Right.
if you will.
If this was a normal paint, like not as bad as far as the swirling and scratches and stuff, I would have just had you blow that pad off and finish this out till it was clear. But
Got
we
it,
need to
okay.
add a little bit more because you can still see there's some scratches
Yep.
in there. So I want to add a little bit more compound.
Okay.
And we're just going to do a crosshatch now. That should take out another, hopefully 25% of what's there. And then we'll blow it off and then we'll finish it to a clear.
Okay.
And then we
And
would
then
add
we'll-
another step in after this process.
So I'm gonna do the same right to left, or you don't? It doesn't matter.
It does, right now you can just do crosshatch, it's fine.
Okay. Yeah, I was just about to do the same thing. Yeah, not the same amount of heat you normally get on.
So let's wipe that off and see what's left here.
Okay.
So you can see it took out most of it.
Yeah, except for the real
Yep,
heavy
got
stuff.
this down here. If you can just stay where you want to be and go slow, nice and easy, as long as you're not heating up the paint a lot, it's going to cut more and you're going to get done
So
fast.
slow me down a little bit and
Stay at round 4.
about as
and
much pressure as you can for.
I wouldn't press too hard, you're not going to need it. Another step you guys don't want to forget here is panel wipe. So what panel wipe does is it pulls out polishing oils.
Yep.
It's very important. Oberk and a lot of the other materials or compounds and polishes on the market, they say they're silicone free, and a lot of times they are. Oberk right now if you look here, there's going to be no difference between what you see now and then what you see when I wipe it. See how there no real scratches appeared, so there's no fillers in it, which is good.
Maybe the oils, but even still, getting the oils off so you can really get a good assessment of what it looks like.
Yep.
And the lights are good enough here where we can kind of see what's doing.
Yes, sir.
All right, so you were saying we would blow the pad out. So we did on this paint. We did our first slow, aggressive passes.
Right.
And then we added a little bit more product. Did it again. And then what was the third step we would do? Just no more product to finish it.
Oh yeah. So if you had product left on here and you didn't have it clear, you would blow that off and finish it to a clear how it looks now.
Ah, okay.
That you're diminishing it all the way down to where it's basically gone.
So we want to blow out whatever clear material or as much as we can out of the pad. And then the concept of switching the pads would be eventually blowing it out has less effect, right? Because they eventually. Yeah.
So if you're using a microfiber pad on this car, one guy I would use probably 4 microfiber pads.
Oh really? Okay.
Just on the 5 on the spots that we're doing. 3-inch, same thing. It would be probably about 4 pads, and then the foams are probably going to be about 3 or 4.
Okay.
Also.
All right. So what's the next step now on this section here? So this is.
So this section, I would kind of. We're gonna have to save this for the hybrid probably, unless you want to kind of sneak it in there. It's up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that also. I would just move on to the next section.
So our plan of attack here will be to compound it out, do our 3 steps like we just talked about. Right.
So after the microfiber, after the cutting step, we're going to go to a foam pad cutting. So we're going to go what I call chasing haze. So we're going to have this. Then we're going to go to a yellow pad over there with probably Meguiar's 205.
Okay.
And then that'll chase haze, and then the final step will be Oberg's polish to refine it.
With a soft finishing pad. Got it. Okay. So are we gonna? So I guess we'll go and compound the whole thing, and then maybe you can come back and we can chase heavier scratches and things like that after the fact.
Yep.
Is that the plan?
Yep.
Okay.
We'll do the 5-inch, then we'll go to 3-inch, then we'll go to 1-inch to refine the little areas right in here.
Yep. So we're gonna be blowing out pads like crazy.
Yes.
First aggressive passes, blow it out, more product. Next cross-hatching passes, blow it out, no more product.
Finish it off.
How many passes then? Just a couple?
Yeah, I would say 2-3 passes.
Less pressure on the pad, or it really doesn't matter?
Yes, no pressure. Hardly any pressure on the pad.
Got it. Okay.
I don't really use a lot of pressure unless it's called for, which most of the time is just getting out sanding marks.
Got it.
I just let the pad and the product do the work.
Okay.
If it needs a little bit, it's usually just a little bit of arm.
Okay.
That's about it, maybe 10, 15 pounds.
Cool.
Not much. I don't like heating up paint.
Got it. All right. Let's do it. It's interesting. I mean, I always see you guys, like real pros, like you're looking through the polish.
Yes.
I just close my eyes and hope, and then I figure out what happens after the end, you know? Like Kilmer's taught me a lot, and he's always looking through the polish, and I'm just waiting. Okay, let me wipe it off and see what result I got at the end.
So if you notice, I put a dot of polish in there also to lubricate the compound a little bit more, to give me a little bit more work time.
Yeah.
Especially because I wanted to kind of line up on here, on this edge. So I'm gonna leave this alone with a 5-inch, and we're gonna try and refine that after we do our bigger areas with either an hybrid or the 3-inch.
Because some of this stuff is not coming out.
Now, if you look here, it looks like a previous tape line. Like this was actually moved over a little bit more.
Yeah.
But like so that kind of stuff, you're not going to be able to get out. Your deep gouges, you're not going to be able to get out.
Right.
Unless we sand. Even with sanding, some of it's not going to come out. So I could cycle it out longer.
What would your suggestion be to the average DIY guy about how do you learn when to add lubrication or a supplemental wetting agent and stuff like that? I mean, how is the only way to learn that is just keep trial and error over years and years and
Honestly,
years?
everything I've done is just I'm self-taught. I never did
There's
anything.
no formula to this. Like I couldn't just.
Every car is different.
Right.
They can give you a process, but the process always changes. You're going to need either a lighter compound or a heavier compound, more aggressive, less aggressive pads. I mean, usually with me, my process is always the same. I'm just switching out either a compound or polish or the pad. It's pretty much it. I'll stick with the same products,
Yeah.
so to speak, but the only thing I'll ever change is sometimes, like how I was telling you, the overt polish.
Yeah.
That's usually what I refine with. Now on softer paint, sometimes I had to pull out a product like Sonac Perfect Finish.
Yeah.
Because it's the only thing that'll finish out the paint.
Right. All right, so we're gonna do a little 50-50 shot here, doing just the compounding stage.
So the first step, 4 dots, overt cut.
Cutting, microfiber cutting pad.
Yep, the pad's already primed. We already used it on another spot.
You're gonna go left to right.
So I'm gonna put it all in. And now I'm gonna turn my speed up to 4. And work to the left, nice and slow.
You're using a lot less pressure than I do.
I'm only using pretty much what I'm holding right here.
Yeah.
Just my finger strength, that's it. I'm not using my body. I'm not pressing down. I'm just letting everything do the work. Nice and slow.
Now we're gonna blow it out.
Now I'm gonna blow it out. We actually pulled some dye off of the tape. See the yellow?
Oh, yeah.
So I would probably never use that tape again. Now, I can see behind the compound, I still got some lines.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna add 2 dots. Work to the left one more time. Put a little bit more pressure on the top of the machine. Nice and slow. What I'm trying to do here is have everything almost clear behind me.
Yeah.
All right, so now whatever's on there, I'm gonna finish that out. I'm gonna cycle it out. So I'm gonna pretty much do a crosshatch in this little area. My speed is gonna be moved up faster a little bit. Well, a lot actually. I'm gonna do a crosshatch.
Wow.
So that's just a compounding stage right here.
Yep. A substantial difference there versus
So now we're gonna do our second step here, which is 205. And this is gonna chase any haze left behind from the Oberk cut.
Yep.
And it's also gonna do a little bit of cutting itself.
Okay.
Scale like 1 to 10, 205 is gonna cut it like a 4.
Yep.
And it's gonna finish out at like a 10.
Yep. All you old geezers in your darn 205.
We love it, man.
You gotta get one.
Most versatile.
You gotta get 210.
Little bit of pressure to start with. Same thing, I'm going a little bit slow. Working to the left my first time. Then I'll finish with a crosshatch. So 205, a non-diminishing abrasive, so it's gonna keep going as I go. And I'm gonna work this out as clear as I can get it. A trick to this, another trick you can do is add water to this at the end.
To keep working.
Yeah, we're not really gonna need it.
All right.
So there's 205.
Whole lot more clarity. Wow.
Now last step.
Jeez. That's pretty legit, huh? Versus yay.
Where do you see it after we peel it down? This is the refining stage right here. So it's gonna give us more depth and clarity to the paint and clean up any little bit that's left. It doesn't do too much cutting. This is more of a refining step.
So, what are you looking for when you're refining? Can you really see a change? Can you see anything through the polish when you're doing that step? Or is it
Not on this particular car.
yeah.
And sometimes you can tell a difference when you're coming behind. So like I was telling you before, like I like to go nice and slow.
Yeah.
Because I can see back here what's going on with the paint because it's almost clear when it comes that way. Mm-hmm. I can see we have like this little area right here.
Now, the other thing, like if we had a silver, like on this silver, we're not going to be able to see all this, right? I mean,
it depends. I mean, it won't be as pronounced as this.
Right.
The silver, the only thing you're really going to notice is it'll get rid of all those like light scratches.
Yeah.
And you'll add a little bit more clarity to it, but it's not going to be like night and day like this is.
Dear Lord. Amazing the difference here as I've hazed out the spot that he had finished. So you can really see, at least I can really see, I don't know if you can see on the camera, you can really see the difference in what the finished product looks like here, and then the edge that I hit with the compound, kind of hazed it up a bit.
Yeah, you just want to get down and dirty, man. Just sit here and just let it nice and slow. So do like 2 nice passes with Oberg, but leave product behind. Blow off your pad and do like maybe 3-4 dots of 205 and then just finish it out.
Yeah.
And that should get it to almost that.
We're doing 3 different passes now, right? So an initial compounding, blow out the pad, add some more product. See, because the way this product works is it breaks down, right? It starts out big and then breaks down. And so the first step is to get some on there, do the first set of passes, then we blow it out and get whatever clear coat off the pad we can, add some more, and do another couple of passes, and then blow it out and then just go with a dry pad without adding any more polish to try to refine this a little bit. Then after that, then we're gonna do M205 with a foam medium pad. And then after that, then we're gonna go with a foam finishing pad and Oberg finishing polish. So I guess.
With that pad, how often do you have to change it?
After every couple of panels. Yeah, Jim's philosophy is, I'd probably have 6 pads used already. but because we're blowing it out so often, you know, it's okay to keep using it. If it starts matting down, like after like
What happens to mine?
as it starts to mat, that means you're using a little bit too much, or then you just got to swap it out.
No, it took me 45 minutes just to pass the place to come here.
Polisher. Polish.
Right. And
2 dots. 1 dot here, 1 dot there. You gotta see how he's doing it? Just like that. Remember, use your left hand to control the machine. The right hand is just guiding. But we still have some little haze. You see, that's from the pattern of the pad. And so what he's doing with that foam pad is what will remove the rest of it.
okay. Fine.
So see, anybody can polish. And now this is way harder than any other, like if you're doing a new car.
Really?
So I mean, you could polish, you could learn how to polish in an afternoon on your own car. So we cheated a little bit. It just occurred to me that the car, I magically showed up here and the car was in the bay, ready to
Yes.
go. I completely forgot about all the decon stuff. So tell me a little bit about what did you do to get the car ready? I mean, you obviously didn't just hose this down with a pressure washer because it doesn't have a top.
No.
So how did you get this ready to go?
This was pretty bad. Basically just a regular wash. We used W4 from GTECHNIQ, which is our citrus foam. Takes away the heavy road grime.
Did you foam it or did you just
No, I didn't
wash
foam it, just wash
bucket?
it. Just wash it because of it not having a roof, obviously.
Yeah.
But W4, washed it down, cleaned the wheels with W6, cleaned the paint with W6 too, which is a fallout remover. That will remove any of the ferrous metals out of the paint.
Our iron removal stuff.
Right. And then after that, washed it again. And then in the wash process, I like to leave the suds on the car. And then I take the clay mist, the nano skins.
Okay. Nanoskin clay mitt and just,
And then we just wiped it all down. I didn't really feel anything on the paint, so it really wasn't that bad.
yeah.
Then gave it another bath, and then
Because even
brought
though
it down here and dried it off.
the car was super marred up and it probably didn't see a lot of rain, doesn't have a top.
No.
You know,
No,
probably
no water
has not
spots.
a lot of heavy contamination.
No.
Just a lot of touching.
Yes.
Whoever had it just touched it a lot.
Yes, yes. Probably a California Duster queen at its best.
And that's typical of a sports car like this. They get touched a lot.
Yes.
And so the paint gets jacked up. And so we're about 6 hours in. I got one little section to compound here. So we have about 18 man hours into just the compounding step.
Right.
So imagine you were doing this by yourself. You'd be into Sunday by now, likely. Plus, actually, you probably have another 3 hours in prep.
Yeah, yeah.
So
about 2 hours.
Yeah, we're about 20 hours into this. We're just finishing up compounding and about to head into polishing, our in between polishing steps. All right, so this is the fun part. We're getting to correct out all the haze from the microfiber. So I'm using 205, an Oberk yellow pad. I like these pads. And making about 4 passes to correct out any of the hazing left over from the microfiber. And so I've done this section here, and man, it looks pretty incredible. And I work on this section here. So since our 205 is SMAT or non-diminishing, we're able to I can work bigger sections. I don't have to worry about spreading it, starting it. I can plus since we're finishing, I can work bigger sections, make my life a little easier. see if I need to get the 3-inch out and work this section here. I think we're gonna be okay. So it's inevitable with this black paint. We're still gonna have some deeper scratches that just aren't coming out. But the overall result is a massive improvement. So I'm gonna keep working this section here, get it all cleaned up. All right, so we're playing with all different processes here to try to figure out what to do on this black paint. And we've come to the conclusion that perfect finish with a orange HDO pad seems to be the combo. So we can skip one of the steps that we were planning on doing. And yes, if you're freaking out, yes, we did use some panel wipe, make sure it's just not filling. So we do have an amazing result. I mean, I can't believe, I didn't think this thing would come out this good. So we're doing, you know, pretty typical. You guys have seen me do this 100 times. Pretty typical, perfect finish on a little bit stiffer polishing pad. And, you know, we're doing 3 or 4 passes and we're getting all the haze out from the compounding step. So remember, all the scratch removal and the heavier defects, all that work has been done with the microfiber cutting and then the heavier Oberk, more aggressive, what they call 1, or their cutting compound. And so now this step is to get all those imperfections or all the hazing and then the tick marks in the microfiber out of the black paint. So I really don't need to use a lot of pressure. Just want to work the polish in just like normal. I'm going to spread it around and then make my normal passes. We also noticed that the gray towels we were using were marring the surface. So now we have still low pile, but the edges on those towels are marring the surface. And there we go. That's what we refer to as dialed in. Sweet. And then I can panel wipe it if I need to. I do have a little bit left over here. Let me see if I can get that. So the good news is we get to roll through the car here and finish up the rest of this and then move on to some of the other detail stuff before we start coating. All right, day 1 is done. We have 22, 23-ish man hours into this, between the 3 of us, because we're about 7 hours in today of polishing. Sure, luck would have it, we'll have 5 or 6 people here tomorrow to help polish, even though we're basically done. So this whole side of the car has been finished polished all the way up to that door. Mike's working on the rear end there, but we ended up being able to do the Sonex Perfect Finish orange pad, orange Lake Country pad, HDO pad, so we were able to finish it out with that. I haven't decided what we're going to do, whether we're going to do either Crystal Serum Ultra or Crystal Serum Light. So we'll decide that tomorrow. We got to work on the metal, polishing out the wheels, clean out the engine bay, clean out the trunk, clean out the interior. So we'll probably be done with this car pretty quickly on Saturday if we have a bunch of people going on this. But the car came out so much better than I anticipated. When I first saw it, I was like, holy crap, this thing is destroyed. I started to think, should we even coat the thing? Because we'll just be locking in all the scratches. But we got it. I mean, this looks legit. And this is, however, 20, 30-year-old paint, so there's still a few little deeper scratches, but if you saw this in person, you'd say, yeah, that looks great. So, we'll be back bright and early tomorrow, 9 a.m.-ish, and we'll be back on the car and probably finish it up tomorrow. Anyway, we'll see you then. What happens when the force pulls you back, your foot naturally comes off the gas. You have to keep your foot to the floor, foot to the floor.